Hello friends and welcome to my channel. Thank you for liking, commenting and subscribing, and if you're new to my channel, please do subscribe and watch this video to the end. So without much ado, let's talk about Sade Sati. What is Sade Sati? Sade Sati astrologically means 7.5 years of Saturn in your chart. So think that you don't do so well in a subject, and somehow all your previous teachers have been very lenient with you, and whether you answer the questions correctly or not, they've been chalo jane do, he's quite good at the other things, let him pass. They've let you pass. But then here comes this really strict teacher and says, hey, whatever the others have done, I don't know, but I'm going to be very strict with you, and this is not the way to live life. Now you better learn. So how do you look at this situation? Do you look at it as like, oh no, 7 years of tough luck, 7 years of tough lessons, or let's say a polishing of your soul? So people who hear the word Sade Sati are very afraid that they're going to suffer. And yes, you will suffer. What is suffering exactly? It's when something happens which we don't like, which we didn't plan for. We are all seekers of pleasure. So whenever anything uncomfortable happens with us, what do? We want to run away. We don't want to deal with it. We don't want tough lessons. We want everything to be good, and always nice and always happy. But change is the way of life. So if there is happiness, at some point sadness must also come. So you don't take the happiness for granted. But Sade Sati is not quite as simple as that. It's just not about happiness or sadness. It's the suffering, like I was telling you. We're unhappy when things happen not according to our will. We don't understand the higher wisdom in it, and we don't want to understand. So Saturn comes and says, hey, you have to go through these things whether you like it or not, because they're eventually going to be good for you. But yes, when we go through the things we are met with new challenges and situations that perhaps we didn't know how to deal with earlier. But if Saturn puts us in that situation, it also gives us new tools and new behaviors, new ways of doing things, so your entire character gets transformed. So that is what is Sade Sati. So my suggestion to you is, if you've been through a Sade Sati, then you know what I'm talking about. If you're going to be going through a Sade Sati, then I'm just going to let you know what are my takeaways and my life lessons from Sade Sati, and then you decide whether Sade Sati means suffering, or does it eventually mean you becoming a more efficient, more capable version and perfect version of yourself. Okay, so I just went through my Sade Sati, and in fact it's not completely over. There are 6 more months left for it technically, but they say when the last 6 months are that your lessons are more or less learnt, and Sade Sati gets weak, and I can kind of feel it. I'm not the same human being that went into Sade Sati 7 years ago. So here are my takeaways, and I've made pointers. As usual, I need my diary for reference. I'm not really good at remembering things, but I've written them down so I don't forget. Okay, I don't know how other sun signs are or not, but my sun sign, Makar Rashi, which is Saturn sign itself, is terrible at relationships. I think some of us are so busy making a life for ourselves, whether you're a YouTuber, blogger, working in an office, whatever. Sometimes we forget about taking care of our near and dear ones, like our relatives. So the first thing Sade Sati taught me was my ignored relatives. Suddenly they all started popping up, and I realized that I probably don't have a relationship with either of them, with any of them, not either them, any. And I didn't have any kind of relationship because I was so busy in my own life dealing with my own things. I never made the effort to keep that So relationships, and I realized that my own fault in this was so huge, that I myself was so busy in my life that I didn't make the effort to connect. What does this do to a person? That means your communication skills are poor, and that means you ignore what can be ignored, you take things for granted. And I realized that not having a good family life is actually not a good thing. You do need to have friends and relatives who you do keep in touch with. So, and I realized I'm a terrible communicator. Maybe in my heart I care, but my expressions would never come out. I would not express these emotions except for birthdays or special occasions. And when you have these kind of relationships with your own family, you don't have a good support system, you don't have a good base. So if you have something to talk about, you must have some people only your own to talk to. And I never had that. I realized I never nurtured these relationships in my life. And a lot of us who live in the cities, we kind of take our relatives for granted. We are poor communicators, we just talk when we need to, and we're so lost in our busyness that we don't make this effort. So Sade Sati taught me the importance of communication, expressing how you feel about them, in to them, forming good relationships, and having an emotional connect, because this makes you into a complete human being. If you are not able to emotionally connect with people, imagine how that is coloring your entire personality, be it regarding your work, be it regarding uh, you know uh, so many issues. You need to be a good communicator. So I think that's one of the first things, was my life lesson. I started taking more of an interest in my family instead of just finding fault and saying, oh, they don't call me. I realized I don't call them either, and that's not good. You need to have your family unit together and strong. So this was my first lesson from Sade Sati. So giving importance to relations. And second thing was getting distracted very easily. This was a huge deal for me, because supposing I had some work to do, I'd be busy getting distracted. I would leave it for another day. Not only is this laziness, a kind of a laziness, I would say, अच्छा ये करना है बाद में करेंगे, कल करेंगे, leaving things to another day, and procrastinating things which need to be done. And now I'm like a totally different person. I've become an action oriented person. I'm no longer lazy. And I don't get distracted by social media, by all these things, to the work that needs to be done. Otherwise I would spend hours scrolling away. Even though I would make a video or two, there was no plan, there was no planning. Like, I'd started this channel at that time, but there was no planning. आज मन किया तो कर लिया, कल नहीं किया तो मन नहीं किया तो नहीं कर लिया. You can't build anything without consistency, and if you're so easily distracted and so poorly committed to anything, then how will you ever make any progress? Now I'm a totally committed human being, committed to my goals, committed to my spiritual life, which was also very poor earlier. I would feel, oh, I'm doing this forgiveness prayer, I'm doing all this, but there was never any consistency. It was like, out of 100% of my time, maybe 5 or 7% I was giving to spirituality. Then how can I expect to have any progress in it? So my commitment was very poor to things. I would get easily distracted. And now it's a totally different thing. I also have 2 dogs which require me to get up in the morning, whether I like it or not. Now I used to be a person who would never get up on time, never get up before 8:39, and today I'm awake at 5:30 every day thanks to these dogs. They have disciplined me. So I've realized the value of being committed and having discipline if you want anything done. Third thing that I learned is, my God, in terms of relationships, the amount of um, betrayals that I received, the amount of people who let me down, cheated on me, was crazy. And this is bound to happen in a Sade Sati. I'll tell you why. Because earlier So earlier, I would trust everybody very easily. I was a very poor judge of character. Whatever somebody said to me, I would immediately believe them without really understanding their character, what they were saying. Now, I don't trust anybody. I listen to everybody, and it takes me a long time to really believe, and I'm a better judge of character because as I kept on meeting people like this, look what Sade Sati taught me. It learnt me to first trust my instincts about people and to take my time before I formed opinions about them, so I would form opinions so quickly earlier. If this person said, oh, I'm going to do this for you, I would believe them. And then of course I would be let down, I would feel really bad, I would feel foolish for having trusted them. So now I really take my time to trust people. So Sari Sati has made me so smart in the sense that now I'm a better judge of character. I don't jump the gun. I really take time to get to know the person before I go forward and make any commitments to them or have any expectations out of them for that matter. And I understand sometimes we meet people, they have a lot of party talk and they'll say we'll do this, we'll do that, but till someone now doesn't commit, I don't live in that fantasy world anymore where I just blindly trust anybody. So Sari Sati taught me to be a better judge of character, not to trust so easily. So I guess, is Saturn a bad guy? No, then it gave me such good lessons, right? So the fourth thing which I learned, which is a life lesson which every woman, believe me, needs to know, that I was completely clueless when it came to finances. I was always earning well as an actress, and then I got a corporate job, so I never had a job where money was less, it was always more. So I would be foolishly spending money without even realizing it. Amazon, Zara, H&M, whatever, every new thing that would come, I was like, yeah, get this, yeah, get that, yeah, 3,000, 6,000, 7,000, 10,000, 12,000, whatever it is. And now I have understood the value of money. I don't spend foolishly anymore. Money was really hard to come by, especially after COVID and everything. I lost my job and had to really first time, buckle down and really, really think about spending. And I spend each penny so judiciously, and it's made me an excellent bookkeeper, like keeping the accounts now, because I used to have a budget now to work with. I am really good at managing and making a budget. Someone like me who had no clue how to do these things has learned it thanks to this Sade Sati. Because of the money crunch, today I'm really good with money. I really spend it sensibly and not foolishly. So that's my fourth life lesson from Sade Sati. Fifth thing which I've learned is to be humble, my God, and not to keep talking big, not to keep saying I'll do this, I'll do that, and I'm going to make this, I'm going to make that. This is completely left the scenario, because I would say all these things, and during Sari Sati I had so many difficulties making those things happen, and I would every time fall on my face. And I realized, till something is done, better keep your mouth shut. Now I believe in hard work, doing the job, and forget about bragging and all those things. So Sari Sati taught me this. Is the fifth thing Sari Sati taught me. So sixth thing which it taught me is not to procrastinate, of course, which I told you about laziness, but also I was lazy with my own health. I prioritize my own health now, and I don't expect other people to look into my health. I look after my own health. I have a regimen for my beauty, I have a regimen for my weight, I have a regimen for everything. I may give it a break every now and then, but I have a regimen. I used to never have a regimen, and it was all based on vanity. Now it's not based on vanity, now it's based on pure health, because a lot of you who watch my videos know that I had also got COVID, and there was a point where all my bones are paining and I literally could not exercise. So it also taught me, don't take anything for granted, and it made me really look into my health. And now I prioritize my health above everything, and not just looking slim trim, but feeling fit, keeping myself healthy. This is the sixth thing I learned. And seventh thing which is the cherry on the cake, like you call it, is I lost all fear. I had so much fear, because I had never faced these kind of circumstances in my life. For the first time in my life, my relationships were failing me, my work failed me, things which came to me so easily earlier never were taking forever, or they would never take off. I had changed locations, I had gone to different trips, I had changed careers, and not a single one of them were taking off. And I realized so much of it was my fault. So much of it was my own scattered thinking, lack of commitment, no habits to or a plan to make these things happen. When all these things happened, also there was fear all the time nagging me, and I kind of lost all fear of what if. With all this training, the fears have now gone, and it's like, whatever it is, I will deal with it. Whatever it is, life will give me the equipment to deal with it. uh, and Saturn has given me that. All the challenges that I faced during these times, whether it be financial crunches, whether it be issues with my dogs, which I faced with my neighbors, the people, my own family, and everything, I dealt with each of them. And after dealing with each of them, each of these issues, I lost all fear of people's judgments of me, people's beliefs about myself, because I realized I'm my own warrior on so many levels. So you have seen now my whole video, so you decide now, is Sade Sati a bad thing, or is it a good thing? So Sade Sati taught me all these amazing things, seven really life lessons, which I it's like a love letter to me, which now for me is forever ingrained in my life, in my ethos, and all the lessons that I've learned, I carry it with me, because not a single one of them has not is not evolved me in any way. It's taken me so much further. I'm now not the same person, but I'm definitely a better version of myself. So today, if there are life lessons coming in my life, I don't say, oh no, I want to run away from it. I say bring it on, because I know it's for me to get better, and it's for me to improve, and that's what Sade Sati is. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to subscribe for more such videos. If there is a topic that you want me to talk about that is dear to you, dear to your heart, please let me know. I'll definitely try to cover it if it's in my scheme of things. And yes, do comment if you've been through a Sade Sati, or if you're going through a Sade Sati, and if there are any tips that you would like to hear from me. Take care and have a wonderful day. I wish all of you all the best, and keep watching, and keep loving. Take care.